Welcome to Cooking with What You Have. In this series of recipes and cooking demonstrations, we will use a typical Caldwell County food pantry basket as a foundation for our recipes, along with normal ingredients that most people have in their kitchen. Our goal is quick and easy, nutritious food. Visit caldwellfoodpantry.com for recipes and cooking videos, or visit the Caldwell County Christian Ministry Food Pantry.
Hi, I'm Priscilla, the Icebox Queen, and I'm working with the Caldwell County Food Bank to show you a recipe for salmon cakes. For our salmon cakes, I've got a 15-ounce can of salmon, and I've already put mine in a bowl here. I wanted to show you, when you work with canned salmon, I like to pick through it. I have to do it with my hands, but they often leave little salmon bones that won't be harmful to eat, but will make you have a crunch in your salmon cake if you don't pull them out. I pulled out a handful of the little salmon bones here so that we could work with this without that crunch. So I'm gonna start by adding my salmon to a big bowl that I'm gonna mix it in. And you could do this with canned tuna as well. You could do it with canned chicken as well. Just the same amount of meat to go with the rest of it. I've got my flour here. The flour will help bind us together, and then I add the cornmeal because it gives it a little bit of a different texture, having the flour and the cornmeal both used for binding, but they'll give us a little bit of added texture to it. I've got one egg here, and I'm going to scramble it up a bit before I put it in the mix, just so it's thoroughly mixed when he goes in. I've got my mayonnaise. And I'm going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. And then an optional ingredient is the red bell pepper and the chopped scallion. If you've got them, use them. If you don't, the recipe won't be lacking. And then I've got my salt and pepper measured out here. And I'm going to stir this all together. And try to make sure it's really thoroughly mixed so that you don't have one bite of flour or a bite of mayonnaise, because they'll all help to hold it together. All right, and then I'm going to use my hands to make, my clean hands, to make 6 patties. You can make them as big as or small as you like. The salmon is cooked, so all we're doing when we are cooking them on the pan or in the oven is browning them. So you don't have to worry that the cooking time is going to take a whole lot longer if you make giant patties or if you decide to do smaller ones. It's just enough to brown both sides. All right, so I'm going to form this into a patty, roll it into a ball, and then give them a little squash. If they're sticking to your hands, it helps to run your hands under cold water, and it'll stop your hands from sticking to it. And then I'm going to fry these guys up for you. I've got my salmon cakes formed. I'm going to turn on my skillet to medium heat and add about a tablespoon of oil. And let that heat up a bit because I'm just looking to brown these salmon cakes. So I'm going to let that warm up and get around to all my edges. And then I'm going to rest these guys in the pan. Oh, this one lost his shape. Go. And let those sizzle. I'm going to let them go for 3 minutes or so on each side and let it sizzle, and then I'll flip it and do the other side. So after about 3 minutes, you can kind of give them a test. If they're sticking to the pan, they probably still need a little more time. That guy was ready to flip. Move him over. And then take this guy, when he's picked up easy, and they've got a nice brown crust on that side. Then I'll give them about 3 minutes on this side, and then they'll be ready to eat.